All right, guys, welcome back. It is PBR Monday, and Moicano versus Duncan has wrapped up. Dude, what is it with these cards? It's always like, let me just put my mic up here. It's always the dog shit cards that are actually somewhat. There was crazy shit throughout this whole card. I know the last card in Seattle was pretty sick, but this one had some weird shit. Like that one girl just full on blatantly soccer kicking the other chick in the face. And, like, honestly, there were some good fights. Like, Tommy McMillan's fight was entertaining, to say the least. We'll dive into it. The big problem for me with these fights and these fight cards is that I genuinely don't care about yeah, they're entertaining fights, most of them, or some of them, but genuinely don't care what happens in any of the fights. Like, it has no outcome on, like, the timeline of the UFC or, like, what's interesting in the sport. So, yeah, was there some good fights? Of course, but, like, do I really give a fuck what happens between John Doroba and Tabitha Ritchie? Like, does it have consequences? No. Do I really care about Rakhmonov or Rakhman Yakhayev? I know people do, but I'm not there yet. Like, the only ones I was like, really, I'm kind of interested to see, like, because they're building up like a storyline for like, you know, these kind of characters in the UFC. I guess Rakhman Yakhayev is one of those guys, but Ethyn Ewing, Tommy McMillan, and let me dive down here. That's literally it that like is kind of building a storyline, like, or like people that like we kind of have some, you know, we're excited to see what they could end up with. I don't know. None of these guys have any hype is what I'm saying. And it's like kind of not super exciting because that's all like inconsequential fights. But if you're like just there for the fighting aspect in general, some of the lower level talent fights, but also some, you know, crazy performances as well. This first fight of the night, we're going to go through all the fights. And I'm going to give you guys my reactions and thoughts on all of them. I didn't do predictions for this fight card, so let's just pretend I would have got all of them right. I probably would have picked Dakota Hope in here, this one, so I probably would have got that one wrong. It was a close fight. It was back and forth. He rocked him in the first round, and I thought the fight was going to be over, but Kai Kamaka, the third, at number 3, Dude's got a fucking chin on him. He's got zero quit, and he's definitely the more experienced fighter, a little bit more technical, a little bit more skilled at this moment in time. Dude, both these fighters are good. These guys are fucking massive for. I think they're fighting at 155. They're big, strong dudes for 155. But I know Kai's got more experience, but they both looked. Well, Dakota Hope looked a lot more inexperienced than Kai. Just a lot of power and a lot of physical specimen, obviously. Both these guys were in great shape, but both of them have like quite a bit of experience to gain before they go like way up the rankings in the UFC. But both like talented, good prospects. So great fight. Kai Kamaka gets it done with the split decision. It was a close fight. I thought Kai won, but I wouldn't be like surprised if they ended up giving it to Dakota. This next fight was retarded. It was so stupid. This Dion Barboza girl. Some people were saying maybe it was legal because her knee was like this closely off the ground. Bro, she soccer kicked her. When she threw that soccer kick, that chick was fully on the ground. And even if when it kind of connected, she was like a centimeter off her knee off the ground. That was an illegal fucking kick. And I know they took the point, but like, bro, this girl like blatantly just blasts her with a soccer kick, KOs her, and then is celebrating and cheering. The ref clearly was like, stop the fight, not because you won, like because it was a foul. And I guess the language barrier because I believe she's from Brazil. But this girl fully thought she won the fight. She's like just grinning ear to ear, like, yeah, I soccer kicked the fuck out of her. And to be fair, probably in like some previous promotions she's been fighting in, leading into the UFC, that might have been legal. And, you know, sometimes the rules get mixed up with the language barrier and stuff like that. But bro, she blatantly soccer kicked her in the face. KOs her. I watched the MMA Guru's recap, and he's like, Melissa Gatto fully was pretending that she got KO'd. Dude, that's what I mean. I know bro says some stupid shit just to say some stupid shit, but I don't think he's ever been KO'd before. I don't think he's ever got knocked out before. I've seen tons of people in freestyle skiing. I personally have gotten knocked out, like been out cold and got back up and like been in a state where I'm able to go skiing or go do something else within 5 minutes after that. And seem relatively there and being able to relatively perform half decently. Maybe it was like a flash knockdown or something like that, but she could be pretending. I highly doubt it. That was a full soccer kick to the face, the sound it made, everything like that. You can get KO'd and you can be like conscious and be able to go, your body's able to do the motor functions and stuff like that very quickly afterwards. Like, you might feel a little bit dazed or a little bit out of it, but you're able to do this stuff. Like, I KO'd myself, tore my ACL, like, this summer when I was skiing, and I skied down the whole fucking mountain within like 3 minutes of me being fully out of it. Do I remember all of it super clearly? No, but like, I skied down the whole mountain just fine after getting fully KO'd and with no ACL. So I think bro needs to chill on some of that shit. Anyways, I don't think she was just blatantly like, oh, like, I'm going to get a free foul win here. The crazy thing, though, is that they let her go. Like, even if she was faking or if she wasn't faking, they made her wait 5 minutes and put her back in there in the fucking fight. That should have been a DQ loss for Deonna Barboza, in my opinion. That was a blatant soccer kick to the face. It went past the 5 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know. That was dumb. But Melissa Gatto looked honestly quite good after getting knocked down like that throughout the rest of the fight. It was a close fight. Deonna Barboza had a little bit more damage in the striking, a little bit more damage in the grappling, but it was a close fight, and one got illegally soccer kick KO'd at the very beginning of the fight, and one didn't. So I don't think that should ever count as a win for Deonna Barboza, because I think that was some bullshit, but that's just me. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Up next, we got Azamat Bakoya versus Trayshawn Gore, dude. This guy, like, this is him, man. Trayshawn's ready. Watch out for Trayshawn, bro. Honestly, I've never really been a big Trayshawn Gore fan. I didn't realize he has so few fights. Like, let's go check out his record here. I thought he had more experience on the amateur scene, but he's only 7-4. 7-4 is an awful record, man. Like, I don't know how you get to the UFC with a 7-4 record. That is atrocious. And I watched him on what is it? The stupid show, Ultimate Fighter. I watched him on Ultimate Fighter, and I thought he looked awful. I don't know how he ended up in the UFC. I didn't realize he had that many, like, that little fight, so that might might be why he looks so inexperienced, but I never really thought Trayshawn Gore was very good. He looked okay in this fight, but, like, still not great. Like, he didn't look great in this fight. Like, his striking is brutal. He's just very plotty, very heavy. He ended up getting the guillotine, which he has been, it's kind of his specialty. But he actually gritted this one out. I've seen performances where he kind of gets gassed and kind of, like, you know, just gives up. But he didn't give up in this fight at all, and he kind of powered through. And he was the guy that outgritted Azamat Bakoya, which I would not have seen coming in this fight. So good on Trayshawn Gore. Do I think he's any good still? No. But is he getting better? Yeah. I know he's doing, like, he's 7-4, and he's been in the UFC for, like, a decent amount of those fights now and, like, kind of got, like, jumped the line quickly. But he's not one of these guys where you look at and you're like, this guy's going to be any sort of prospect, in my opinion. I just don't think I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it. Alice Pereira versus Haley Cohen. Alice Pereira is absolutely massive for this division. Like, dude, this girl is, the fact that she didn't even have to jump to, like, straight up knee Haley Cohen in the face is pretty impressive. She looked good. Her striking was better than Haley Cohen's. Haley Cohen was obviously shooting for takedowns, wasn't able to get any. Alice Pereira did a good job of stopping all the takedowns and stuff like that. And she looked pretty good in the striking. Not, like, insane or anything like that, but quite good. The KO she got on Alice Cohen was brutal. Do I think this was performance of the night? No. Like, who the fuck is Alice Pereira? Do we care? Not really. It was a great KO. Would I give somebody like Ethyn Ewing a performance of the night over Alice Pereira? Absolutely. But it was a very, very nice KO, and we don't see a lot of nasty women's KOs, so good job from Alice Pereira. She kind of did what she had to. She pieced her up in the striking. Like, she wasn't, like, dominating the striking, but she was definitely doing way better in the striking. And it was hard for Haley Cohen to, you know, close the distance. And then she was able to stop the majority of all the takedowns or get back up to her feet. So she's a good prospect. Up next, we got Lando Venata versus Darian Flowers. This one kind of sucks for Lando Venata. Honestly, I thought he looked really good in the first round against Darius Flowers, and he just made a mistake, bro. Like, yeah. Anyways, Lando Venata was doing his thing. He kind of has this weird style. Again, it's a little similar to why am I forgetting the name? Anyways, doesn't matter. He has this he's got a little bit of an interesting style, but he's very, like, fluid with his movement. He was doing a great job of staying on the back foot, watching out for the big shots of Darius Flowers, side to side, escaping, throwing lots of good shots at range, stepping with some stuff. He throws some interesting. He's kind of got a Davy Grant style a little bit. He throws some interesting kicks, some stuff like that. But he was looking really good against Darius Flowers, clearly getting the better of all the striking. avoiding the big shots, mixing in some grappling and takedowns and stuff like that. And he was dominating the first round, in my opinion. And then going into the end of the first round, I guess Darius Flowers kind of like shot in for a takedown, scrambling, and he tried to go for a guillotine. It wasn't like super in or anything like that, but Darius Flowers just slammed him onto the mat, and his shoulder went right into the like top section of Lando Venata's ribs and definitely broke one of his ribs. And you could see Lando Venata was immediately like in pain. Managed to survive the first round, and then into the second round, just bro has a broken rib. He's trying to fight. He actually did a pretty good job against Darius Flowers in the beginning of the second round, but eventually ended up on the ground with that broken rib. It's pretty hard to win a fight with a broken rib. Bummer for Lando Venata because I thought he was looking really, really good in that first round, but it is what it is. And then up next, we got Alexander Costa versus Stuart Nickel for another performance of the night. This, again, I don't think should have got performance of the night over somebody like Ethyn Ewing. I thought that was a way better performance. Alexander Costa looked good, man. He was throwing the bigger, harder shots. Stuart Nickel was looking better than I thought he would against Alexander Costa. I always kind of consider Alexander Costa as one of the better flyweights, like a top 15 flyweight. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But he's definitely one of these guys that looks the most the most juiced at flyweight. He looks like an intimidating dude at flyweight to fight. He throws so fucking hard into everything he does. He's got good grappling. He's pretty well-rounded. He's tough. He did kind of get pieced up by Alexander Corrier, I think, or Costa. I forget that dude. His last fight. Let's see his last fight. He got kind of pieced up the striking by him a little bit, but he also broke like his foot and stuff, which did not help. Yeah, it was against Corrier. Otherwise, he's beat Borjas, who's not that good. He got lost to Urseg. He beat Flick, who's not that good. He's not really actually. He's not had that many wins in the UFC. He's worse than I thought. Albazi, losing to Albazi is not bad, and then losing to Urseg's not too bad. Corrier's not great, but he's literally like won one, lost one his whole UFC career, which is interesting. I thought he would have a better, I guess, UFC run than that, but. He's pretty good, man. His striking is not like super fluid, super technical. It is pretty good, but he really sits down on shots, and he's very good at pressuring and making it like an intimidating fight, if that makes sense. Like it's an intimidating fight when you go against Alexander Costa because he's going to throw big, heavy shots at you. Stuart Nickel did a good job of like kind of keeping it at range with the longer strikes, and I honestly think he probably won the first round. But Alexander Costa got him with a beautiful body shot. They were showing like in the replay, it's like, how did you land that body shot or whatever, like in the back room, Stuart Nickel was asking him. And he's like, when like you throw the straight, like kind of slipped and just threw the hook. But I genuinely don't think that's what happened. I genuinely think he just like kind of just went for like the body shot, the liver shot at the same time as Stuart Nickel threw the straight and it just landed clean. I don't think it was very executed like that well. That wasn't down to that fine detail. I'm gonna roll this straight that's just tagging me, could maybe knock me out with my hand down as I'm throwing a liver shot. Don't think it was that I don't think it was that well planned out, but it was a beautiful liver shot that dropped Stuart Nickel and ended the fight. So good on Alexander Costa for getting that. Gourmet Pat versus Thomas Peterson. Fucking Thomas Peterson, man. This dude, he actually looked in better shape than before, and his movement and his athleticism was improved upon from his previous fight, so good on him. Very, very close fight. I think he won the first round over Gourmet Pat because he just did more. That was the big thing, he did more. And then, was it the second or third? I think it was the third round. He got him down. He like dropped him, almost finished Gourmet Pat, and then just basically was on the top for the whole last round. But the round one was a close one. But you can see the strikes. Like Gourmet Pat only threw 8 strikes. Thomas Peterson, way less impact, not as big as strikes. But bro, you can't just throw 8 fucking strikes and think you win around it. It doesn't work that way. So good win from Thomas Peterson. Robert Rucella versus Jose Delano. Robert Rucella looks like an evil kind of vampire. He's kind of what he reminds me of. But he's pretty good, man. And he had a tough-ass fight against Jose Delano. And do I think he would have lost the fight anyways? Yes. I think it was 29-28 for Jose Delano, but he did lose that point in the third round by grabbing the fence quite clearly. Immediate point. Was that fence grab enough to stop a takedown? Quite possibly. Maybe he would have stayed up, but it was a very blatant, very, very blatant double hand in the cage, like full cage hold. So yeah, Robert Rucella should have lost a point for that, and they took it away immediately. He won the first round, in my opinion, against Jose Delano. Close. Jose Delano looked good, but second, third round for Jose Delano, he really like stepped into his own and looked a lot more comfortable in the striking. The dude's striking is like, it's very powerful. Was actually quite technical, but very, very powerful. Like he's throwing shots of like trying to take you out. And Robert Uccello's got a hell of a chin, man. He throws a lot of like weird kind of like flicky kicks, interesting stuff like that. And some of it's really nice. Some of his striking looks really nice. Robert Uccello didn't look bad actually in this fight at all. I know he's going to be 0-2 now in the UFC, which kind of sucks, but he didn't look bad in this fight whatsoever. Some of the stuff he throws is kind of a little bit pointless. It's either he's like throwing a spinning kick that's just, it's not going to land with any sort of impact, or he's trying to do like some kind of like flicking like head kick that's like, if it does land, it's just going to touch and slap and it's not really going to do anything. Like he should like try to refine his kind of creative, unique techniques down from like just let's spam buttons to like, okay, when I do this, is it going to actually cause damage or do something that's going to set something else up? Because in this fight, it kind of looked like he was throwing and spamming some stuff that was just literally there because it's a weird thing to do, or like a button, like it's like a button to mash. Like I'm going to throw like a big like straight. Maybe that was the other guy in the fight, but that was Stuart Nickel, but he threw a straight and then like tried to backhand him. But Robert Uccello was throwing weird things like that in this fight that like honestly creative, interesting like stuff to do and like kind of keeps the opponent on your feet, but he should refine it into like stuff that like when he does throw it, it's going to cause damage. Some of the spinning back kicks he was throwing and stuff like that were just way too wide and looping, and he was like kind of going off balance on them. And even if it did land, it probably would have like barely landed on like the elbow or like the hip of Jose Delano, so it wouldn't really have done anything anyway. So anyways, great fight. This was an intense back and forth fight. Robert Uccello has a hell of a chin on him, and Jose Delano looked good. The Tommy McMillan fight versus Milano Zucchini was just ridiculous. It was just fucking ridiculous. People are going to hate on Tommy McMillan for having like a very untechnical fight, but honestly, I thought it was a great performance from Tommy McMillan, man. Like his striking technique-wise looks quite awful. However, was it improved from his last fight? Absolutely. His chin was tucked more, and he's throwing big looping shots, but he's also throwing those because he's overwhelming the person. He's making it a complete dogfight, and those shots that he was throwing, he was still relatively safe for a lot of the positions in that fight, throwing those shots, mainly because he was the guy that was putting on the pressure and not allowing Mr. Zucchini to have like clean, tight boxing and stuff like that that's going to counter him. And he makes it such a chaotic dogfight that a lot of these guys aren't able to fight technical anyways, and they kind of fall into his fight. Against some of the best fighters in this division, is that technique going to work necessarily? No. But I also don't think he's going to do that against the majority. Like when he gets like, he's going to adjust that down a little bit against the higher level athletes in this division. Or you just go, again, full R-word maxing and you just do as much chaos as possible and try to overwhelm some of those high level fighters, more technical ones. Obviously, there's a big chance you're getting clipped, but you know, if you settle into like a more technical fight against somebody who's more skilled than you, you're never going to have a chance to make it dirty very easily again, right? And if you just keep that pace, like he literally came straight out of the gate and just made it an absolute dogfest bar fight, right? And if you're doing that against people that are more technical than you from the beginning, it's going to be a much harder fight for them than if you just go in there, you try to be a bit technical with them, try to make it like, you know, more of a clean fight and then step it up. Or if you just end up making the clean fight, they already got your reads, they kind of already feel comfortable. But if you just go like full bore from the beginning, kind of like Tommy McMillan has in his last couple of fights, it's going to be very hard for a lot of these guys to adjust in time. But he did a great job. He fought a lot cleaner than he did in his Contender Series fight. Still, you know, very reckless, but he was landing some big knees. He was doing well in the clinch. He has very good takedown defense, and he's just always locking up that front headlock. And blasting with knees. And when he did have Mr. Zucchini hurt, he just swarmed him and did a really good job of throwing. And yeah, he's throwing these really wide looping shots, like we were saying earlier, but those shots have, because he's using so much leverage, those shots have a lot of power on them, man. That's kind of what you see like Mauricio Rufy do. Like, he's kind of a little chin down, but he's throwing shots with so much momentum, so much leverage on them that when they do land, they really hurt. And Tommy McMillan got an amazing stoppage in this fight. Was it a little bit of a sloppy performance? Absolutely. But was it a great fight, entertaining fight? 100%. Do I think he can do that against people like Ethyn Ewing, skill level wise? No. Like, I know he's up a weight class, but I still don't think that works out super well for him. But against the people up to that level, you know, he's going to do well just overwhelming them like that and making it an absolute dogfight. Up next, obviously, we got Ethyn Ewing versus Rafael Estevan. Rafael Estevan looked good on the Contender Series, and, I mean, he was undefeated coming into this, but fuck me, did Ethyn Ewing look good this fight. First round was closer. Ethyn Ewing definitely won the first round. We can see here on the strikes it was up a bit, but it was still close. It was a close fight for a closer round. Not like Ethyn Ewing was winning, but it was a closer round. His combos, his techniques, his head movement is really, really good. He did a great job of avoiding the big shots, staying out of range when Rafael Estevan was throwing the big shots and stopping the takedowns. I thought Rafael Estevan's striking looked a lot better than I was expecting because he's more known for his grappling and just finishing fights there. But his striking looked good. His striking was when Ethan stepped into the pocket, he was sitting down and throwing super hard combinations. So it made Ethan have to really, or Ethan, whatever you want to call him, Mr. Ewing, made him have to be very cautious when he was stepping into range to try to land on Rafael in the first round because there was big counter shots and big counter combos coming back. But he did a great job adjusting that. Second, third round, Ethyn Ewing just put on a fucking masterclass. You can see the strikes go up from 27 to 68 to 15, and then in the final round, 27 to 13 when he got the TKO. He looked really good, man. The way he was moving, slipping, and ripping all these shots was absolutely incredible. He's just like placing that right hand just perfectly over Rafael Estevan's shoulder onto the chin, slipping, ripping. Dude, man, he looked really, really good. Countering, also just pressuring, and just the shot selection. Dude, he looked really, really good, man. Ethyn Ewing looked like a real prospect in this fight. And one thing he does very well is he's pretty high output. He's always throwing out something out there to think about. He's landing big shots. He has great head movement, and he's going to slip and rip very well. He's also pressuring and cutting off the cage very, very well. He put Rafael Estevan on his back foot this entire fight and didn't give him an easy escape route. We see people that just kind of like follow them around. Ethyn Ewing did a great, great job of cutting off the cage wherever Rafael Estevan went. And whenever he tried to escape, Ethan was like landing big shots on him. And that's ultimately how he got the finish. So great job from Ethyn Ewing. That was an amazing performance. Abdul Rakhmayan-Yakhayev. This dude, I still don't think he's that good, but he keeps getting first round finishes with fucking ease. So I got to say he's half decent. He'd put it on Brenson Romero very easily. He's kind of got a Tommy McMillan fight style where he's not that technical. I guess he is technical, but I don't think he's like, when I watch this fight, I'm like, wow, dude, you look so slick, like slipping these shots and ripping and whatever. No, he just goes out there and bully maxes, just swarms people. And he got dropped by Brenson Romero early on and was able to get the takedown and easy sub for him. Weird one, but not a weird one. I mean, he came out and did exactly what he fucking always does. So good job from Rakhmayan-Yakhayev. Jandiroba versus Tabitha Ricci. Not too much to talk about there. Yeah, not too much to talk about there. Jandiroba just got her takedowns and kind of won the fight there. It was a close decision. Not close decision, but it was a 3-round decision. Pretty typical. See what the total strikes were, yeah. Yeah, she basically, I mean, Tabitha Ricci was doing better on the feet. Jandiroba is still landing some big shots, but got the takedowns and just, when she got the takedowns, she just dominated those rounds. So, Moicano versus Chris Duncan, last fight of the night to go through. This was also a stupid fight because we all knew Moicano was going to beat Chris Duncan. I know the odds were the other way around, but Moicano is just a way more technical, better fighter than Chris Duncan, so it was always going to go this way. Like, is Chris Duncan better than Benoit Saint Denis? No. Look what Moicano did to Benoit Saint Denis. Like, I know maybe if they fight again, Moicano versus Benoit, we might get a different outcome, or it might not look as easy, but Chris Duncan is nowhere near the level of someone like Benoit Saint Denis, and Moicano slimed out Benoit Saint Denis with ease. So kind of saw this happening. Moicano looked good in the striking against Chris Duncan. Didn't really get hit with any big shots. Landed some really good shots on Chris Duncan as well. Ended up dropping him with a check, not really a check hook. They both threw straights at the same time, and then Moicano followed up with the hook, a straight hook, and put Chris Duncan straight to the ground. Immediately jumped on the back and did what Moicano does with the grappling. He's so much better in the grappling world than Chris Duncan, and easily choked him out. It was kind of weird because you literally heard, like, at the end, like, right before Chris Duncan got submitted, his coaches yell, "Surprise elbow!" And then bro goes for a surprise elbow and immediately gets choked out. It was the dumbest thing he could have done. He might have been able to make it to the third round, just, surviving, just defending just a choke. Because Moicano wasn't really landing any big shots, but he was being nasty, man. He was throwing the knuckles, like, that aren't covered in the glove just straight onto the face, which can't feel good, which cannot feel good. Like, if you just sit here and just go bang, bang, it's going to fucking hurt. So Moicano was being kind of a dick to Chris Duncan. But dude, yeah, that was stupid to throw a surprise elbow and immediately get choked out. But I don't think the fight was going any other way anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Great performance from Moicano. All in all, a pretty mid card. There's some good fights in the card, like, that performed well, but there was not a lot of fights that, like, had any real hype. Like, this was there was no one on this card that was a big name. Like, not a single person on this card that's a big name. Moicano is the biggest name on this card, and, like, I love Moicano, but he's not like a huge name. Anyways, it is what it is. It was a card. It was a UFC card. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown and reaction to the fight night. We'll have the next fight is coming up soon. I think it's the Miami one, maybe. I'm not sure. I have to go double check next week, and I'll be back. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Deuce.